So this first game I want to look at, unfinished starter game, is called Mid-Century. Mid-Century. And this is based on the an early Atari 700 tutorial, and I decided I was going to make a version of our childhood home that we had when we were growing up, so that, turn this off, so that I can make a game about literally growing up in the vertical blank. So I've got our kitchen tile here, which this looks a lot like our kitchen floor tile, and kitchen counters, and our living room with our green couch. That is what I wanted to do here, but this is pretty much all there is. I don't think I did anything else. So let's go on and figure out what the next game would be. Okay, this next one I found in a directory called Food Fight RPG. I totally forgotten about this. This is something I started because I thought it'd be fun to make a super food fight RPG, kind of like Super Mario RPG, but using food fight. There is some stuff here. If I click in, you'll see I did go to the original tile sheets of Food Fight, and I was able to get a character that ran. I was able to get a spinning banana, one of the chefs, and a tomato, working reasonably well. And then I abandoned it because, I don't know, I abandoned it. Like I abandoned a lot of stuff like this. But that's Super Food Fight RPG. Something I think would be fun to get back to at someday. All right, so this is the first real Atari 7800 game that I finished. Well, that it became a game. And I started with the old Into the Vertical Blank logo, and did some animation to make all the little bits animate, of seeing how much you could animate on the screen. It says 2020. I guess that's when I started this, which turns out was only a couple years after the Into the Vertical Blank podcast started. So this is fire to start. So this was my first idea about what I'd make into a game. All right, well, this is the first version of what would become Balance. My first concept was called Iron Grip, Destroyer of Worlds, where you were a bad guy, playing something like the Empire and going around space. But let's see what the game actually is. So here you are, you're turning these pieces and trying to get these ships across the screen. If you've seen the Balance game, it's like this. But the idea here was you were going to launch these ships in your launch tubes, and they were going to go fight battles for you. That was the idea. I still like this idea. I still like the idea of something with ships because it reminds me of Battlestar Galactica, where the ships would fly out of the launch tubes. I'm not sure that it works, but I still would like to explore this. I think Balance is an okay use of this game engine. I still want to update that. My goal for the year was to make a song for Balance, which I still want to do. But this is Iron Grip, Destroyer of Worlds, and it's another sort of unreleased thing. Getting this algorithm to work on the 7800, translated from ActionScript 2, was a bit of a challenge because of the limitations in BASIC. I would have said the same challenge in assembly language because of the way things jump around. It's about creating the loop algorithms to check all the tracks is what the problem is. So only having jump statements makes it a little hard. But you know what? That's the fun of it too, right? I mean, that's why we do this. And if it was easy, we wouldn't do it. That's why I think AI generated games and stuff like that ultimately are going to be that maybe the death of the game industry, but not the death of hobbyist programming. Because I'll be honest with you, the reason why I do this. Oh, look, that didn't connect. So that was a problem on that one. The reason why I do this is not simply to make something, but to go through the process of making something. And AI ruins that for me. I mean, maybe not for other people, but it kind of ruins it for me. I don't care about the end product if I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, um, I'm not saying you can't use AI to help you code, like help you to find stuff out or build an algorithm or something like that. But the idea that you would just type in make game and your game is created seems, I mean, to some people that's probably fantastic if they've never made a game before. But it certainly is going to lower the common denominator and make it so the value of some of these things is not as much as they used to be. I mean, there's no value to this stuff. This is just my old crap, but my other games. Um, but I think the fact that I sat down and went through and built this algorithm, and there's a later version that actually works. So um, I just sat through and tried to pound through this. This is what I remember. I remember sweating through that, trying to figure it out on the 7800, and I think that's the value. And trying to say in the value of just the end, the thing, the ended game. Well, I mean, this game never came out, right? So if what does it matter? Um, that's why I don't think having AI completely code your thing is going to mean much soon because if anyone can do it, what's the value in it? Um, I just don't know. So anyway, this is the first version of Iron Grip, Destroyer of Worlds, and which I still think could be a fun idea that you're launching ships through these launch tubes. Have no idea what it would be. All right, I'd say that's pretty much it for this time. We'll have some more dead end game development next time. So that's been Dead End Game Development Atari 7800 #1.